Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. This is really, really early for most of you Americans, but a perfectly decent time for us civilized people. But we have some news, and there
You
are things, and Nomad would like to talk about them.
you you,
Nomad,
you
your
called me
opinion.
civilized?
I would never call you
He's
civilized, sir.
calling me
You are a mere
civilized, folks.
colonist. You are a mere colonist. Don't you worry. I would never accuse you of being civilized.
I'm just part of the. I'm beyond. I'm below the oiks in your opinion, right?
Dude, you're below the Irish. But I have good
Anyway,
news for you. I have good news for you. You are above the French. But then again, everything's above the French. Carry on.
are, are aren't the Chinese even above the French at this point?
I'd even allow the Russians to be above the French, and that should tell you everything.
I will admit that the Russians, of all the people, okay, you want to talk about people who are proud, who are proud, okay, proud, not not arrogant, just proud.
Yep.
You're talking the Russians. There's that their society is a very, um, they're very proud people. Okay, it's kind of
Yep.
odd. Okay, they are they tend to be pragmatic, dour. Okay, it's unusual when you find the bombastic Russian. But
Oh yeah.
if you ever tell a Russian, you know, something negative about their country, they immediately jump up to defend it. You gotta give them credit for that.
That reminds me of another country. I can't think who. I think they've got like a red, a white, and a blue, and there's some stars and some stripes somewhere in it. But I just can't remember the name of that country. Do carry on.
Don't give me that crap. Right?
Oh,
We have a different attitude. We have a don't care attitude toward people, and we listen to you guys complain endlessly about our country. Let's be
yeah,
frank.
We complain endlessly about our own country. Let's be fair.
I'm talking, well, yeah, but we get it from you. Every country in the world complains about America. Every country. Oh, well, you guys
Yeah.
are doing this to us. You guys are doing that. What have we actually done to you? Nothing. Well, but you could be doing this. Well, how come you haven't done this? You're not letting us do this. And
Mm-hmm.
screw yourselves. Anyway, this is not why not where I was going with this. Right, but we'll start this. We'll start the show because there's some things that I actually want to go to. Not on this first story, believe it or not, because this first story is bullshit. All right, which is going to be a theme for stories today, if you really want to know the truth of the matter. All right, and we'll go right into from the Daily Mail. Putin and his high command are already hunkering in secret bunkers after a Kremlin spokesman said Russia would use nukes in face of an existential threat. Flight tracking info suggests Putin may be in a hideaway near Surgut in Siberia. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, all right, is believed to be in a bunker in Ufa. I thought he was like sick with the flu or something. Wasn't he on the outs
Oh,
because the defense minister on the outs, right?
there is rumor that one of them has gone missing, and as shown with this one, he's currently sitting with Putin. Something tells me that once he's no longer useful to Putin, he may have a accident. Then again, there's rumors about the Russians and the previous bloke in charge of Chelsea, Ibrahimovic.
Oh, good grief! Yeah, that's just so stupid. All right, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, who has been mysteriously absent for several weeks, sparking rumors of his health, is believed to be in a bunker near Ufa in the Urals, 725 miles east of Moscow, according to an investigative journalist, Christo Gorez. Right, the theory is backed up by his daughter. All right, Kenise Shuge, visiting Ufa for an estimated 3 days from March 22nd, with mounting speculation the defense minister is suffering from heart problems. She was
I
abruptly
can see.
barred.
I
She
can see.
also
Tell you why he's having
abruptly
heart
barred
problems.
public access to her
I can.
Instagram. Now, what was that?
I can tell you why he's having heart problems based on that picture. You look at the amount of medals that guy's got. Of course, that much is going to weigh him down. Not surprised he's having a bloody heart attack. Look at him. He's wearing enough medals there. That actually classes as body armor if someone tries to shoot him in the heart.
Stop right there, Jensen. Let me ask you a question.
Huh?
How many awards did you receive while you were in the service?
Bugger all. What do you expect?
But you didn't receive any awards.
Why would I?
Did
Remember, we don't do the Purple Heart like you lot do. Okay?
Weren't you? You know, I'm going to say something to you. You got a bad commander.
At any point does this strike you as a shock?
I
Because
think
it
you
doesn't
had
to
a
me.
Muppet for a commander. Right? No, my career was much longer, obviously than yours, right? So I had some good commanders and I had some bad commanders, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, okay, you could separate the wheat from the chaff, right?
Yeah.
Now, I also, quite frankly, early on in my career, the guy who was actually assigned over me wasn't even in the military. He was a DA civilian.
Wow.
So you end up with a lot of weird things when you from the military.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Which was in some ways it caused a lot of heartaches for people because you know when you're working for a civilian, you're not working for actually the unit that you're attached to. They get a little annoyed. Right? Because you have a different. First of all, they can't do anything about it because you have a different patch than they do. Okay.
Yeah.
So that they have to respect the fact that you can't tell me shit. When it really comes down to this stuff, I don't have to listen to your freaking stupid nonsense. Which was a good thing because if I had been assigned to that unit, right, I would have been a freaking thorn in their sides from the word go.
You? No, never.
Oh, no,
Can't
no,
believe
you
right.
just don't know. Okay? You don't. I would have, because I would have ripped their commanders up one side, down the other for what they've done. And not just the commanders, but their NCOs. Because their NCOs had allowed things to happen that were just absolutely unconscionable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I asked the guy who was, he had been a friend of mine. I said, how the hell can you allow this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, we really can't do anything about it. I just shook my head. I mean, it's just like, you guys, you're not taking care of your troops. You know, as the NCOs, we're here to take care of the troops working for us. Right?
Yeah.
You know, mission first, yes, but people always. And if you don't have that attitude, you shouldn't be in the military, in my opinion. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this guy has... I don't know what these stars are, aside from target points. You know, that's what they look like to me, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's holding his gloves like this. Mm-hmm. Why don't you have your white gloves on, dude? This is...
Shouldn't, yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of odd that you'd get a picture like that. All right. But, all right. You asked what I thought about this. About these guys going to the bunkers. First of all, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Right? I think the main thing is this guy he may actually be ill. All right? And he may actually be suffering heart problems because of what's going on in the Ukraine. Because it isn't going the way they thought. Let's be perfectly honest, right? Well, I shouldn't say thought. It's not going as well as they wanted it to go, all right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of obvious, all right? But it's not as it's not as bad either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The struggles they're claiming about are not as significant as they're trying to lead across, right? And the reason I say that, all right, is this, all right. But back to the other story. We'll get to the live map in a minute. The Putin is in constant contact with Macron, which I find interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, the person, the other person who's trying to set themselves up as the peacemaker is Turkey.
Yep. I heard
Erdogan
that as well.
has been hosting these things. Now, you heard the story where they said that they were going to not attack Kiev so much anymore,
Yeah.
right? And that they were realigning things, right? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're not going after Kiev. Okay, still, right? What I thought was going on is if you take a look at the map, all right, you can see that they've consolidated this. Notice that they keep trying to say that Mariupol mayor has already admitted the Russians are in control of the city. Okay, they have successfully taken Mariupol. Okay, so when the mayor says they've taken Mariupol, and it was reported on all the major news sites, you can look it up. All right, the there might be pockets that they're fighting to resolve, but this battle is over for all
Oh
intents and
yeah.
purposes. Right now, the massacres will begin. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make light of it, but it's true. Right. So now that this is done, and I said this before, they were going to consolidate this. Right. I had mentioned that maybe they had given up on Odessa. Right. I think I'm wrong about
Yeah.
that. I don't think that they've given up on
Oh,
Odessa yet.
okay.
All right. I think that they're getting ready for a major push toward Odessa. Okay.
So you look at them basically completely filling in all around the bottom.
I think what they're doing now is they're everything here is going to be realigned back over to here to ports, and then they're going to try and do a series of amphibious landings, probably in this area, and then this area, and then this area, right? In an effort to sit up there and then push through across to hit Odessa. That's what I'm expecting. Okay.
Okay.
It's that looks like it's going to be the push. Now this is a this has been their objective for a while. Okay. Now maybe they'll leave Odessa alone. I don't know. Right? Maybe they are going to be willing to just say, okay, step back. And I suspect, quite frankly, that during the peace talks, all right, Putin proposed this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Zelensky is feeling his oats, right? Where Putin sit up there and propose lowering the intensity on Kiev, and if you give us all this, all right, we'll come to terms.
Okay.
No. Okay. Zelensky said
I was
no.
wondering.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, the fighting has somewhat intensified here. You have a series of things where they've pulled back in this area, probably because they're going to try and make a push around this way. All right, that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. Sure, we'll stop on Kiev for right now, and the next thing you saw was once again this area started heating up. Right, at Cherniv. Right.
Yep. Hello.
What are you two bum bandits talking about? And I was just talking to MC there. Sorry, Nomad there.
We're on the stream, dude. So.
I know.
Okay. Cool.
I'm watching it.
All right. That always helps. Hey, Batman.
Hello.
Welcome, Batman.
Yeah, we're currently taking the Mickey out of Russia, as usual.
Right. Well, Russia and
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Hello there, you Brad.
And as you look at this, though, you're seeing the Russians are just redeploying. Right? That's
Yeah.
all they're doing. Is the Russians. The one thing that's become very obvious is that the Russians' logistics are subpar.
Oh yes.
Okay,
The other
and,
thing you've got to realize is Putin. He's the kind of guy who'll be staging an attack on your forces while he's got you at the peace table.
well,
In the way he's doing now.
he will
Yeah.
do that. There's no doubt about that. Right? I mean that's I think that's a kind of obvious, to be honest. But you're right. He will be trying to talk peace. He's just like the Chinese, right?
Mm.
During the Korean War, when the Chinese came across and then they decided, okay, we want peace with the Americans, or to start talking about peace. They
They wanted peace. They
constantly
wanted
they constantly
to,
tried massive wave attacks, right?
like
At the same
Nomad.
time.
The thing is, the Chinese did want peace. They wanted a huge piece of Korea.
All right, and you've heard all these people now. Let me ask a question. Now I know Batman remembers this, right? All these people complaining that this was a sovereign nation that was invaded by a larger, more powerful neighbor, and we can't allow
But he
this to
wasn't.
happen, right? Well, where were these assholes, right? Back in, what was it, 83, 84, I think it was. Right? I don't remember the exact. No, it had to be later than that. Right? When China invaded Vietnam. Where were they?
I did not even know that they'd invaded Vietnam, but
Well,
okay, cool.
Well, the easy answer to that is at least half of them weren't even dirty thoughts in their parents' minds at the time. The other half of them would probably have been looking the other way.
Right. You see my point, though. Where were all these
Oh, I know your
freaking
point.
liberals when that happened? Where were they all bitching and
It's-
saying?
It's
And-
like
and-
all
and-
these
and the
idiots
Chinese-
who
I'm sorry.
it's like all these idiots who are yelling out, yeah, we should go to war, we should teach Russians. These are the kind of people who are yelling for war, who don't know anything about war, what war entails, how people suffer, what it does. And they're also the first people who, if they actually went to war themselves, they would be the ones deserting within the first day.
They survived the day.
Yeah, well,
That's why they'd be
they'll be
deserting.
taking selfies of themselves to limit their ability to survive. So
You can't shoot us here. This is a safe space. I'm sorry, but your white supremacist bullets aren't allowed over here.
They played Call of Duty for so long. Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
Chinese invaded Vietnam, right? And they said
Where were they?
They sent
What?
2
Like,
million men across the border. 2 million, right? They did not come across with a few 100,000. They sent 2 million men into Vietnam.
There's another one. If you're going to go with that, what about in the early '60s? Where were this lot when the Russians ruled into Czechoslovakia?
That's a good question. Where were they when they rolled into Hungary?
Yeah,
None of them were there.
and pre-Soviet Union, wasn't the Ukraine part of Russia anyway?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And
So, really speaking, it's not a sovereign nation. It never really has been a sovereign
it
nation.
is an ethnic.
Technically-
it is an ethnic grouping. Go ahead.
Yeah. Technically, he's actually just recovering his own land.
Yeah.
In a certain
Right.
sense, yes, but
Oh, you mean like that jumped up little corporal did in the 30s? That's what my granddad used to call him, a jumped up little corporal.
Nice.
I don't think that's well, it is kind of an apropos thing, but the little colonel, right, or corporal rather, corporal, he assumed something about you Brits that he found out he was
assumed
completely
wrong.
about.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. If we'd actually been able to mobilise forces the from around the empire, uh, that mistake in Poland would cost the war very quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing was is right when it came to the Danzig corridor. Okay, Hitler had a point. Hitler had more of a point, to be quite frank, going and taking the Danzig corridor than he did taking the Sudetenland.
Mhm.
Okay, this is what a lot of people don't understand is the Sudetenland. Sure, they may have been ethnic German, all right, but they'd never been part of the German
Germany.
state,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there was never a German state, really. There was lots of different little German substates.
Well, there was
Yeah.
prior to Bismarck. Yes, Bismarck's the one who
which is why
consolidated.
we tried to, which is why we sank him.
It still does my head, and that's actually a person before it was a
Yeah.
ship. So,
Yes, yes, he was a cybernetic organism.
So
I thought it was a transformer.
now
No, no, he was heterosexual.
we have a story. We have a story here. Ukrainian
Okay.
shelling causes a huge explosion at a Russian ammo depot. Fresh blow to Putin. A Russian military weapons depot exploded in the city of Belgorod, all right, close to the Ukrainian border. The Russian state media reports that Ukrainian shelling struck the arsenal, causing it to explode. There are at least 4 injuries, and that may be downplaying the severity of the attack. Witnesses said the strike had presumably come either via drone or short ballistic missile. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, from what?
you think that that's true? Well, then let's go over to it because this is it right here.
Let's have a look at it.
Huh?
Let's have a look at it.
Right.
The explosion.
Oh, you want to play the video, do you?
I want to
You-
play the video
He just wants to
because
see
if
the
if it's hit an ammo dump, that's going to be a fucking big explosion.
Yeah.
There's the picture of
Okay.
That looks like a fireworks display.
it.
Yeah.
Well, ammo dumps going up like that do kind of look like fireworks displays.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, it would be a bit bigger than that, I think.
I,
In all fairness, don't
You'd also be able to see little Russian soldiers flying here, there, and everywhere.
I was actually a bit confused about the life there. I would have expected more.
Yeah.
But I agree that the destruction's about right. I mean, the thing to remember is this. How full was the dump? Because quite simply, if it had bug roll in it, then it's just basically going to go poof. If it was completely full, then half the city is now missing, looking confused.
Well, according to these guys, I suspect it was a pretty big fire, but according to this, it was human factors are behind the explosion. All right, that to me tells me
Okay.
some
Well, yeah,
dumbass dropped something. That's what
human
this tells
factors
me.
are behind the explosion. Yeah, I mean, that's obvious because if it was a missile, somebody's got to fire the missile.
No, I think what it means is one of the guys was
Which-
having a cigarette and flicked it in the wrong
Yeah,
direction.
if it was an accident, a human's got to cause the accident. So yeah, human factors are involved. That was a fucking non-statement,
Yeah,
is what I'm
I
getting.
don't think that the Ukrainians fired at this depot.
No, there would have been a lot more destruction if it was a
Well,
missile.
It's okay, but it's not just that. It's you are attacking outside. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I have no. They have every reason to do this. The Ukrainians have every reason to do this. Right?
Yes.
And every justification to do it. Right. The problem
Well-
is though, the moment you do something like that, right, you are widening the war. They have to recognize that.
Well, yes, they do, but during war, you don't think like that. And the thing, what I'm getting at is, I tend to agree. It was some kind of accident within the supply dump because if it's a missile, you're sending a missile to destroy an ammo dump. It's not going to be a small missile. It's going to be a facility busting missile. It's going to cause a much bigger explosion than you saw in that picture.
Probably. Right. It just the thing is from a logistical standpoint, as I was saying, the one thing that we've learned is the Russians are crap with logistics. Now,
Yeah.
I
The other
think
thing
part
is
of
the
that
Russian,
has to
Russian.
be. I think part of the reason for that is because, quite frankly, Russia is poor on the offense. Great on the
Yes.
defense, but poor on the offense. Logistics, you're when you're on the defense, you're always falling back into your logistical chain. Okay. When you're on the
Yeah.
offense, though, you've got to move your logistical chain forward.
Yep.
And so I
And every
think
time
that
you do that, you put it in danger.
well, but you have to move. You have to be able to move
Oh yeah.
logistically. And the Russians they don't think along those lines. They haven't been thinking about fighting this kind of a war, and I think that that's one of the things that has shocked them that the the capabilities that they saw us do in Iraq, all right, and even in Afghanistan, they with similar equipment in their minds, they said we can do the same thing. No, you can't. Not if you don't train for it, and not if you don't utilize the systems the way we do.
Not if you don't have the experience of doing it.
Right. And so I think we're
I
finding
mean,
out very quickly that their doctrines are not a modern doctrine. That their
I
doctrine
mean,
of
here's the
warfare
thing.
is quite
Yeah.
horrific.
It is the thing. If it was the British Army, the Ukraine would be ours by now. If it was the United States Army, the Ukraine would be yours by now. If it was the French Army, they would have surrendered and gone home by now.
Which is also true.
But all those statements are true.
Do you think that's why Macron and why Putin's talking to Macron? How do we actually surrender?
You know, you say that, but I've actually heard mumblings that when you've been talking to Macron, discussion of surrender has been going, and it's not been the Russians surrendering. I
The thing
mean,
is,
really?
what I think what Putin's been saying to Macron is, yeah, shut up and bend over.
Yeah.
I think Macron has been telling Zelensky to come to terms with the ceasefire, but Zelensky understands something. If they declare a ceasefire, what'll happen is all this up here, this area in the north, right?
Yeah.
The Russians will pull back. I'm telling you right now, the Russians will agree to pull back their forces completely out of this area here, but they won't pull back from any of this.
Mm.
This is seized territory. Maybe this little chunk, maybe, but the rest of this area, they're not giving it up. And you can see it because there was right here, for example, there was Ukrainians mounted a small counteroffensive here, right? Made a little bit of progress, and now what are the Russians doing? They're viciously going after it.
True.
They are going to defend this area because now it's theirs. Right? That's the way they're looking at this. And right now, the way the Russians are doing this, like I said before, is I think that they're trying to seize control of this entire area, including Odessa, and that their plan was to take Odessa. I think their plan to take Odessa, though, was supposed to have been done last week. They were supposed to be on the outskirts of Odessa and besieging it already.
Yeah.
Right? But they had some problems. The first problem was this pocket right here, which is Mariupol, which I know that they don't show it here, but Mariupol is surrendered.
Yeah.
Something about starving people to death for a couple of weeks kind of influences that.
You'd think
You
the
think?
Ukrainians would be used to that, though, wouldn't you? Oh, was that too soon? Oh.
You can say that, but one of the things that does is you also have to have weapons and stuff to fight with. And when you can't move weapons or things in there, how are you going to continue the fight? Eventually, you run out of bullets.
Yeah.
That's you're sounding like the southern states during the war between the states.
Mm.
Eventually, you run out of bullets.
Fix bayonets. Sorry.
Well,
Actually, towards the end of the Civil War, a lot of the battles fought during against the Union and Confederates. The Confederates were using slingshots and throwing stones.
no, they weren't.
That's what I heard.
Well, they can say that all they want, but if you do an investigation, you'll find that during none of the major battles did the South actually run out of ammunition during any of the battles.
Apart from
Now they may have
what?
decided to stop their attacks and everything and withdraw because they didn't have enough ammo to continue the fight. All right, at the expenditure that they were utilizing. All right, but they never
It's also the
ever
fact
not the
that
Robert E. Lee never fought a battle where his troops ran out of ammunition.
one, the South outclassed not just by the quality of troops, but also by technology.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's
I heard that. Yeah. You know, there's one thing that people don't talk about. People in the South were so hard, they were pulling the bullets out of their own bosom, firing back. That's how tough they were. Yeah? Oh, okay. Well,
Especially from that one who come from that small farming community. Yeah, the guy the bullets just bounced off him.
Yeah.
He was actually originally a war correspondent as well.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Was
Kent, I
he
think his
Native
name was.
American and did he wear a white shirt?
No, apparently his surname was Kent.
Do you guys know the reference that I just made?
He came from Clarksville.
Yeah, of course he is. No, Doku, we're not buying bottle caps. Bottle caps I haven't yet actually achieved their optimum price yet.
So anyway, these are the things I want to talk about with the Ukraine. Look, it really did look like this latest round of ceasefire talks may actually lead to a ceasefire, but Zelensky, is not ready for a ceasefire. Right? He wants to continue the pain. He wants to continue to bleed the Russians.
Mm.
All right, and
This is it's become the Russians have obviously tried to invade Ukraine. What they see is their territory, yeah. But Zelensky's pushing it on because it's now about revenge for him and giving the Russians a bloody nose.
well, yeah,
But not so much revenge, but he wants to hurt the Russians.
But what
But
will happen
let me finish. Let me finish here a second. Sorry for that tone, but I hadn't finished yet. But the thing is, Zelensky's thinking in this is not exactly what I'd call stupid and emotional. He wants to give the Russians a bloody nose, so they'll think about 3 times before they do it again.
Oh no, I agree with you
Yeah.
there, right? But the problem is I think you're underestimating the resolve of Putin.
No, I'm not, because I know that Putin will do it. Try it again if he doesn't succeed.
I don't mean you. Right?
Yeah.
When I said you in this case, I meant
apparently,
Zelensky. Right? Zelensky
I
is
understand
underestimating the resolve of Putin. If they continue with what's going on to try and bleed the Russians will begin to say, okay, you want to play this game, let's go, and they will bring out the hammer of God and they'll just start obliterating everything. It won't be.
Don't have to.
No. They will do it. They will do it.
Yeah,
and they will do it in Kiev.
They don't have to. The Russians have easily got more than enough manpower and resources to effectively blockade the Ukraine and starve them out.
I agree, but they will do it because you want to play the game of just massacring troops. Okay, we'll play that game and we'll just start wiping out your entire society. They will do that.
Yeah, because like I was going to say earlier, the Russians have the same mentality as the Nazis did, which is one of the reasons why
communism and Nazism is not.
Hold on. We're not on about that. We're not on about that, because it's one of the things people tell me that if Hitler won the Second World War, he wouldn't have the Nazis would not have invaded America. Yes, they would, and there's a reason, because it's the Russians have the same mentality. You shoot one of our troops, right? We're going to round up 100 of your people and kill them.
Yes.
For every troop you kill, we're going to kill 100. If it was America, it would be for every one of our people, not just our troops, but people, even the civilian workers that come over, collaborators included. We're going to round up 1,000 of you and kill you all. That effectively stopped any kind of rebellion in all the countries that the Germans took over in the Second World War in Europe, because the people who were in the resistance knew that very quickly the populace would turn against them and hand them over to the Germans, rather than see the families being dragged out in the street and shot. That's what the Russians will be like in the Ukraine, especially if they gain territory.
Oh, the reality is the Russians have seized this area. Now, why did the Russians seize this area? Okay,
Which area in particular? Point to it.
this one.
Which one? I can't see you pointing.
Can't see me pointing? Can't see my cursor going around?
Oh, there. Yeah, I can see it now.
I see it.
Looks like a good supply point by the sea. The Russians can get access to it by the sea as well. They can hit from both sides. Well, actually, they can probably hit from 3 sides.
That's one reason. Do you know something else?
Go on.
3 years ago, they discovered a huge oil field there.
There's another reason.
Oh, how did I know that?
That's going to split the Ukrainian forces in two, isn't it? If they took that area.
Oh yeah, but the fact that there's huge oil reserves now that they're denying now to the Ukrainians, that's why they did it.
Yep.
They want that oil.
But either side of that area is Ukrainian, right?
What do you mean? Here and here?
Either side of the area that's bordered in red is Ukraine, right? Is the Ukraine, right?
Are you talking about this area here? This is Ukrainian.
I'm missing your pointer again. Right, the red area is
Red area is a Russian that used to be Ukrainian. Yes.
Right. Yep.
And everything over here is still Russian.
Yep.
Okay. So yes. So right, this area here used to be Ukrainian. That they will not. I think that they'll give this area back, but they will not give all of it back to here. All right. And
don't think they give any of it back.
This area here, they will technically. All right. If you want to talk about the technicalities of this,
there's two areas they will not
that's
give
in
back.
red, including the Crimea, were Ukrainian.
Mm-hmm. There's 2 areas there that will not give back. There's the one that you're on about that's been where the oil's been found. And there's the one to the southwest of it.
Yes, that's correct. They won't give this area back.
That's major. Pull the map down a bit.
You should see it in
Nomad.
just a minute. Is this what you wanted?
I'm sorry, delay. Yeah, there you go. You see, that's a hell of a fucking good. That's a hell of a good supply point there for Russian commerce.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
If they keep, they'll keep those 2 areas.
Yep.
And probably the area below it as well. If that's Ukraine, is that Ukraine?
This area here. This area here.
Yeah, the area below.
This area here was
the
Ukrainian,
bottommost piece.
that was seized because this is Crimea.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to keep all those areas.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
The reality is they were going to keep Crimea. The Russians could not afford to lose Crimea. Right? That's a reality.
Like I said, it's a hell of a trade route area and resource area. Yeah, to be idiots to give that back.
It's also ethnically Russian. It's not ethnically Ukrainian. Yeah. All right. That's another reason for it. Now, they will, like I said, in the ceasefire, what they'll do is they'll agree to slowly move out of these areas up here, right? Possibly this area, maybe to this river here, possibly, but they're not going to give up this huge chunk here. They will not give it up.
Yep.
They will not give up the Donbass, and they will not give up the routes over to the Crimea. Now, whether they can take Odessa or not, I don't know. But the Russians right now are redeploying their forces. And I think starting probably within 5 days, you're going to see a major push toward Odessa. That's what I think the Russian plan is. Okay,
Wouldn't surprise me.
they're just going to continue to shell Kiev. They're going to go on the defensive there and let the Ukrainians build up their forces in an attempt to try and take Kiev. And when they do that, you can see it coming. The Russians are then going to squash it in one fell swoop. They are going to crush it because they have the ability and they got the equipment to do it.
Yep.
So they're going to let that build up, and then they're going to hit it, and they're going to hit it hard.
Really speaking, if memory serves correct, Russia's been after the Ukraine since what you call him, Boris Yeltsin was in power.
Yes. Yeah. That's very true.
Funny thing is, if Gorbachev had retained power and Yeltsin had never gotten in, with the reforms Gorbachev wanted, this wouldn't be occurring.
Maybe not. It's hard to say, to be honest.
Gorbachev wanted a Western-style Russia.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
But
Economy, politics, the lot.
Well, but he didn't want to give up control of the economy. He didn't really want a Western economy. What he wanted was what they're doing in China.
He wanted a Western style economy, but according to how he saw Western style economy, because he was raised in a communist state, which he actually successfully dismantled, but he was still raised in that culture, so he could only go so far.
Right. Well, then, like I said, it was what he wanted was what the Chinese basically achieved. All right. Enough about the Ukrainians. Let's go to the White House. Did you guys see this story?
Was Biden bitten another security guard?
Right. No.
Problem is they have to put the security guards down every time they do that.
Right.
Oh.
No, the White House records to turn over the 7-hour gap in the Trump phone log, right? Internal White House records from the day of the attack on the U.S. Capitol. The day of the attack on the U.S. Capitol. There was an attack on the U.S. Capitol, all right?
Was it?
That were turned over to the House Select Committee shows a gap in President Donald Trump's phone logs of 7 hours and 37 minutes, including a period when the building was being violently assaulted, according to documents obtained by CBS's news chief, election and campaign correspondent Robert Acosta, and the Washington Post associate editor Bob Woodward.
Okay. This was the day that AOC got killed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she died immediately. It's terrible.
Yeah, she got killed by the rioters because she visits her own grave every year.
Yeah,
well, I love that one.
The thing is, where was Trump when the rioting was going on?
Telling people to go home.
Yeah, he wasn't in the White House. Okay, so the idea that there's a 7-hour gap, no shit, because he wasn't in the White House.
Dude, you know full well that they're going to be trying to make some sort of recording using clips of his voice saying stuff that they actually want him to be saying.
Oh, I know that, right? But
10,000 years from now,
that the
they will
press
still be trying to.
Is
10,000 years from now, they will still be trying to blame Trump.
Well, good God, we're gonna get to something else where they're blaming Trump. They blame Trump for Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Yep.
And before somebody says, "Well, who are they?" I can give you a whole slew of names, including one of the big heroes of these libertarians who think he's so damn great, and these young libertarian, millennials. All right, Howard Stern.
He's a prick.
All right.
Sorry, but he is.
He would be if he was any better.
Yeah.
He's a shock jock. That's all he is.
He is what he's always been, an asshole. All right.
Yeah. And he doesn't care about any of this shit. He's just there to promote himself.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He's all about money. He's all about the bling. And he's all about, he's not about helping anybody but himself. And he destroyed his own family, right?
Yep.
And with all the dumb shit. But the fact that you don't have any of these records at this time is completely understandable, considering that Trump wasn't there. So the gap in the record logs are completely understandable, all right. But at no point does this actually sit up there and say, "Well, yeah, that's normal." No, they make it look like see they have a gap in the record logs. Trump destroyed the record logs. That's what they're trying to say.
Well, he might have done in some weird fantasy universe.
Doku has an opinion on Howard Stern. I'll let you decide whether or not you want to say that. I agree with you, by the way, Doku. I really do.
I don't disagree with Doku at all.
Mm-hmm.
What did Doku say about Howard Stern?
He said he's
Howard...
a very nice man.
Yeah, not quite. Howard Stern isn't a libertarian. He's a woke loon who spends too much time sucking his own dick and sniffing farts. You know, he's right.
Apart from one thing.
He can't reach his own dick, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe...
Never seen it in 30 years.
Right.
Hey.
Let's go to the Babylon
Given...
I think we should go to the Babylon Bee.
The Psaki reminds reporters that Biden doesn't speak for the President of the United States.
That's brilliant.
All right. In a tense press conference Monday, Press Secretary Jen Psaki faced pointed questions about several of Biden's missteps, or misstatements rather, right, that led to chaos during his trip overseas. Psaki quickly reassured the gathered press that Biden doesn't speak for the President of the United States. The president has clearly said, and we agree, that Joe Biden does not speak for this administration. Nothing said by Biden should be misconstrued to reflect the official foreign policy of the president. The administration has been clear from the beginning that we've always been clear about what we've been clear about clearly.
Really? Yeah, could it? Yeah, when did the Babylon Bee stop being a parody site and start, recording the actual news?
Well, Doku said this is basically true. So is the Bee real news now? Yes, it is. Okay, we have now found the real media. Okay, it is a Babylon Bee.
All right, but Jen, the feisty Peter Ducey asked, "Don't you think these inconsistent statements could cause World War III and unleash CRT on our kids all at once? Why did Biden have to walk back his statements? We would like to walk back the statement that we would never walk back any of our statements." How frustrated Jen Psaki said.
You can't do this.
If you find any statements that we've walked back, let me know, and we'll circle back to that later to walk back what we walk back.
Bit of a walk back, isn't it?
Things you could actually... I mean, we're sitting here laughing, but you could actually imagine that as one of their speeches, couldn't you?
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's very true. Okay, let's go to this. Right now, this is the New York Post. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all I'm showing you is the front page, what basically of their website, right? Their website #1 story, and it's still about freaking Will Smith and this stupid slap.
You know why? Like I said, if it wasn't put up, if it was actually real, the only reason he did that one is because his wife told him if he didn't do something about the joke, she wouldn't let him watch the next time she got the pill boy to do her.
I do believe Will Smith yelling, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." He should have been telling his wife, "You should be keeping another man's dick out of your mouth." I mean, you really want to know what he should have been upset about, in my opinion.
One thing I want to know about Will Smith is, do you think he's on good? Yeah, he gets on well with his kid's father.
I have actually said something quite similar, by the way.
Look,
I really do wonder.
I'm not gonna make any more crude comments along these lines, at least for the next few minutes. But to be honest, the the story about him slapping Chris Rock, we all know. I shouldn't say we all know, right? Anybody who tells me or even tries to come up and say, "Oh no, that was all real," it was not real, folks. It was Hollywood. It was not real,
Like I said the other day when we were talking about it,
right?
after he walked away, he was grinning. You don't grin after, after slapping somebody for a comment that about your wife, which has pissed you off.
Yeah. First of all, was he really pissed? They all knew it was coming. It was all part of the
Slapping
act.
his ass off.
You gotta even if you just ignore all that, all right? They have the amount of security and the hired security for the Academy Awards is almost presidential like. Okay.
Yep.
For
Well, it's
the
actually
security not to react to this, as they're trained to do,
Yep.
means that they had already knew it was coming and weren't going to do anything.
Or I'm just putting this out there, mind. You disagree with us if you want, but maybe the security didn't react because he really is handsome.
And I'm sorry. No. All right. So I just wanted to point this out that the story is still going on. And the fact is they're blaming Trump about this. There
Of
are
course they are.
multiple, even these idiots, and then you listen to idiots like Jamel Hill, who comes out talking about how, well, he was just supporting a black woman who needs to get supported. Well, the big, strong black woman Jada can't support herself. How come she didn't walk up on stage and slap his ass?
Yeah, that I'm actually quite surprised at. I thought she
I'm
would
not.
have.
I'm not, because like another thing that you said the other day, when a woman wants to fight with a man, most of the time their weapon of choice is another man.
This is a fair statement.
Are you?
You know how many times have you seen in real life some woman gets offended by what some guy says? She'll turn to her husband or boyfriend. Yeah. Are you just going to sit there and let him speak to me like that?
Can't say I haven't
True.
heard
When, when I've had that comment aimed at me, going, look, I'm comfortable, got a cigarette in one hand, a pint on the table. You want to do something about it, you can hit him.
You want to start a comment with somebody and you get into a freaking comment fight, then you deserve it. I never had a woman tell me that, but I've seen it plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Normally it's when some woman says something stupid and the guy responds, not taking her shit.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, okay, with my Ange, she wouldn't bother actually sending me. She'd deck the guy, probably hit him in the nuts, and then walk off and say, "Okay, you can deal with him." So I'm left there to deal with the mess afterwards. Meanwhile, the person's laying on the floor, clutching his groin in a world of pain.
How the U.S. can't halt China's threats of
no.
expansion? Oh, we can't stop the threats. Well, we could stop the expansion if we wanted to.
Make China nuclear again. And not in the things.
Make China glow again. Yeah.
Yeah. Make China Stone Age again.
Why the White House says Biden
Oh,
can't condemn Will
Jesus.
Smith, Chris Rock. Look at this.
Well, one sec. I actually said this to you about the slap heard around the world, didn't I? Do you remember me saying that to you?
You did.
They're now using it. Oh, God.
Actually,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I said that. Yeah.
if it wasn't put on, he should condemn it, because him not condemning it is actually advocating violence as a response, as a viable response to a bad joke.
Yep.
He won't do it, though. He won't say anything because it was a bad
He's
joke
an
about
idiot.
a black woman, and we got to protect black women at all costs, supposedly.
Well, nobody's protecting Will Smith.
Well, of course.
What?
Well,
Wrong
they're claiming that Will Smith. They're claiming that Will Smith was fully justified because, he was raised by a black woman. I'm not joking about this. Jamel Hill
He's
and
making
some other one
excuses.
went on
Hold on,
CNN.
hold on a minute.
It was going off about how Will Smith was brought up by a black woman, and that he the South Philadelphia, you saw the real South Philadelphia from Will Smith, and he had been keeping it in for so long, and he got pent up, and he had to release it. And
So by
it's like,
that comment,
but I'm not justifying his violence. I'm not justifying the slap. But you got to understand. No, what you got to
hold on a minute,
understand
Robot.
is it was fake. It was
Hold on a minute,
Hollywood.
Ro-
It wasn't friggin' real. It was something that was done to intentionally gin up,
You're
all
Brad.
right, viewership of the Academy Awards. And the Academy Awards viewership went from 2 million prior to the slap to almost immediately after the slap, 12 million. So you know it
hold on a
worked.
minute. Uh, 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 yeah, slow nods. Hold on a minute. Like I was going to say, like you said, yeah, Will Smith was really playing Black Woman. I mean, saying that, are they implying that Chris Rock's some kind of genetic oddity in the fact that he was born and raised by born into and raised by an entirely white family?
Do not suggest that, or they're going to actually
That's
say
that's what they're actually suggesting, though, with that comment.
I know.
You want to know the other reason why I know for a fact that this is all bullshit? The very fact that Chris Rock says, no, I'm not going to press charges. Why not?
Yeah. The very fact, hey, well, there's another reason why you know it was fake. The very fact that Chris Rock didn't kick 7 sorts of shite out of Will Smith.
Well, exactly. I mean, let's be honest.
I
If
mean,
somebody comes
yeah,
up and slaps
Will
you, the
Smith-
first thing you're doing is you're
Will-
dropping the freaking microphone and you're going,
Hold
oh, you're going to bring this?
hold on a
What's going on? What's
like,
going
like,
on?
like I said the other day, Will Smith's an action fucking actor, right? So
Yeah.
he's trained and everything, right? And he knows how to movie fight.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Rock is a fucking stand-up comic. He's been fighting all of his fucking life.
You tell me you're looking for, Batman. Tell me you're looking for, scrappy little bastard.
Yeah, he'd murder fucking Will Smith.
Yep.
There's no two ways about it.
And this did not happen.
Andy's a better actor than Will Smith.
The Hunter Biden laptop material did not get entered into the congressional record. Okay. He tried to do it, and the fat Nadler.
Oh yeah, can I just joke you a second?
We'll take it. We'll review it, and then we'll decide if we want to actually enter it.
Yeah, can I just Doku in the chat for a second? Doku, Biden is not Irish. His surname is actually English. I looked it up. I checked it. It's an English surname. He in his family tree he has one Irish person, and even then he wouldn't be Irish because he's American.
Isn't the Irish person supposedly someone who, like, from the maternal grandmother or something like that?
Yep.
And everything else is like pure
English.
English.
Like I said,
Straight down the line.
His surname is an English surname.
Okay.
Not just CNN, but Doku, but Biden itself.
I'm trying to see if there's any stories here, but this is.
Oh yes, I got another phone call yesterday asking the scammer on the other end was asking if I could speak to Mr. Joe Biden.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I do these consumer polls on over the phone.
Yeah.
And I always give a different name each time.
Oh.
Yep. The amount of times I've been phoned up and somebody's asking if they could speak to a Mr. Mike Hunt.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And they actually don't, I suppose they wouldn't fall for it, would they? Most of the scammers are, after all, should we call them East Asian, cough cough Indian, cough cough Paki. Barney. Sorry.
What's Bridgerton? Do you guys know?
I have no idea.
Never heard of it.
I don't even know who this woman is. Obviously, her name is Simone Ashley. She said that she
She
tattooed herself after watching Prison
doesn't
Vids.
look that. She doesn't look that bright.
No, I honestly, I have no freaking idea, mate. Sorry.
She's got a nice face.
No
I like her
idea.
face, really.
I, I have no idea. No interest really. I've been noticing Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively successful actresses in Hollywood. Their chins are all getting pointy. Do you think they're all going in for cosmetic surgery?
Probably. Batman from Doku. Scan back if they ask them if they want to buy a 711 in Nebraska. Not that I know what that
7-Eleven.
is.
7-Eleven.
Oh,
It's a
it's supposed to
shop.
be 711.
It's
All
a
right.
shop that's open from 7
Yeah.
to 11.
Okay. In Nebraska.
7-Elevens are a chain here in the U.S. They're
right.
everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean,
You even get
everywhere.
from what I've heard, it's they're so ubiquitous in the States that it's just become part of yeah the the culture. Any shop that is open from those hours is called a 7-Eleven, even if it isn't part of the chain.
So basically, it's an overexcited convenience store. Gotcha.
Well, not a
Yeah.
convenience store. It's like the Quickie
Oh.
Mart.
Oh,
Which is a
right.
convenience store.
Right. That's not a convenience store to us.
It is to us because it's a store that's convenient.
We are
You see, it
technical when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah, for us that they're like Quickie Marts or gas and shops.
Yeah.
The 7-Elevens used to, many 7-Elevens even to this day, they have fuel pumps in front of them, so they also sell gasoline, and they're open 24 hours. Right.
Okay.
So they were
How many-
unfortunately
oh,
for
oh,
the people who work
dude.
there, they tend to be robbery targets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. How can they be open all the time when there's 7-Elevens? That literally should tell you when it's open for.
It's
Or maybe I'm wrong.
I agree with you, but that doesn't
Okay.
mean that it's not open 24 hours. They're open 24 hours.
Okay, cool. Look, hey, I'm not arguing with you, man.
Hey,
And
you know-
you'll
you know-
find
you
them in
know
every
that,
state, in every major city.
Including Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Hey,
Hey.
Jensen,
Yeah?
you know that I'm not saying that Nomad's fat, but the only letters of the alphabet he knows is KFC.
Oof.
Did
dear.
you see any stories here that you're curious about?
No.
Unfortunately, no. I think I pretty much fit it. You know, we just said all we need to say. Just, I think the one thing we should
Oh,
bring
look,
up.
wind down again. Wind down again.
It's like up. It's the opposite. Down, 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 boy, down. Okay, we're going up.
Got to wait for the stream to come with us.
Uh,
Keep going. There's one that just caught my eye there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not that one.
I have no.
It's probably after the one that's coming up because nobody's interested in that. Yeah, there's a fight at a hockey match. Big surprise. After this one, I think. Bit more.
That's so good. Running out of.
There, millionaire masterpiece says his 9 kids didn't get a head start in life.
Wow. No,
This
no.
is the story you want to look at.
I mean, just that headline alone. I mean, he's a millionaire. His kids didn't get a head start in life. There's only one person you could blame there.
Yep.
Him.
Oh no. You mean Trump? Because it's obviously Trump's fault. Wow.
Yeah, female iron worker. Fuck off.
Yeah. Whole thing is just freaking ridiculous. It really is.
I mean, yeah, you can't blame their life because I started to do right.
Okay. Well,
I mean, no.
anyway, Doku, based on your thing about KFC, I was actually watching a show. It's called It's a Southern Thing. They were talking about chicken nuggets, don't ask. And KFC got the worst out of the lot. It was literally right at the bottom. What does that say about KFC? Which is weird because I actually like KFC, but
I
apparently.
see what he's saying here now. He's basically saying that he didn't give his kids a head start in life because he wanted them to be, have a grounding in the real world. Apparently,
Prick. Okay.
Well, I don't know who this guy is anyway. Right, number one.
no, I don't know.
But
He's
he has kids.
he's some.
He has kids that are 31 years old, 30 years old, 29 years old. All right, 25 years old, 23, 20, and 16. Right. Now,
Those are the ones that he's letting people know about.
Yeah.
well, that might be probably true. Right. If you look at my kids, they're humble just like me because every event that I'm at, wherever I'm at, every community I'm giving back, helping the elderly, helping at-risk youth. It sounds commendable, but to be honest, I know nothing about the guy, nor do I care.
Oh, and Doku.
Nothing about. I don't care if you're a rich person and you want you're raising your kids the way you want to raise your kids. Okay, and
Yeah.
Doku. There's a reason for that. In the UK, we've got something called food standards.
food what?
4, 3, 2 standards.
Sorry, just that. What? It was perfect timing.
Landits?
1. Standards.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I know it's something that you as an American don't really understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
how many poisonings happen in America?
A lot more than we actually hear about.
Oh,
Go,
please.
we try some popcorn, mate. Let these two argue.
Please.
Oh, come on. Let's face it. You allow food additives and stuff.
Let's be perfectly frank. The only reason that you sit up there and put things against food additives, all right, is so that you can sit up there and be part of the freaking EU and not take freaking food from America. It was to sit up there and bolster your own freaking farming, all right, to prevent your farmers from going under. It had nothing to do with whether or not the food was edible or whether or not the food was even cheap. No, you went out of your way to sit up there and prevent the United States by doing things like this to prop up your own farmers, just like the rest of the Europeans do as well, even though they can't make enough food for themselves. It's not about saving anybody. It's not about, you don't have Americans dying in droves because of lack of food anywhere, do you?
We tend to have a surplus of food over here, but no, I mean, you have stuff like all these artificial sweeteners, a lot of which are banned outside of the United States because they're proven to be carcinogenic. Yet you still
proven to be carcinogenic, like PCBs, right? Where basically they're around all over the place. When we ban PCBs in the U.S., but everybody uses them around the world, right?
We don't use them over here,
right? So the idea that somehow your areas are cleaner or better, or your food's better, or more, you've done more meticulous look at it.
Our grass is greener as well. The air smells sweeter.
The air smells sweeter. No.
In the morning in the United Kingdom, when the birds start
Can you fish the Thames? Can you take fish out of the Thames?
You can. Actually,
yes, it just depends how many legs of fish you've got.
but slow, Dad. In the UK, on a morning when the birds start making their sounds, what we hear is the music of bird song. In the United States, what you hear is raucous coughing.
Oh, please.
It's the only country in the world where the birds wear gas masks.
Oh, God. This is coming, folks, from people who have never been to America. who've never visited America, never been on American soil at any point in time.
That you know of.
Well,
It's because we're not allowed
that's because
over
I
there.
believe you when you tell me you've never been over here. I'm sorry
Never
if I
actually
took your
said
word
that.
for that. Oh no.
I've never actually said that.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Actually, I'm the one that said it. I don't know if Batman has.
I
I
never
have
have.
not been there. Okay. Now you said it then.
And I'm not going to let him know one way or the other.
Because he can't admit the truth.
Can't
I
handle
can't.
the truth.
The
Anyway.
truth is in the own mind, right?
You wouldn't know the truth if it ran up to you wearing a T-shirt saying that had truth written on it and beat you over the head, shouting, "I'm the truth! I'm the truth! I'm the truth!"
Leftists do that all the time. What are you talking about?
He
Well,
has a
beat you over
point
the head
there.
all the time.
Yeah.
Uh,
He has actually a reasonable point. I can't really disagree with Nomads. It's acceptable statement. You forgot to say that they're blue haired, just to add to that. But yeah.
that leads me to a question. Why does everybody want to
Okay.
be blue haired? Why don't people want to be? I know a lot of people do red as well, right?
I can remember when having funny coloured hair. I mean, Slowbrad hair will as well. I remember when people having funny coloured hair was a sign of rebellion.
Yeah, because they did it in pink.
They did it in loads of different colours, but it was an act of rebellion. Yeah. Now it's just an act of look at me, I'm a right-on idiot.
Yeah, and normally it was accompanied by the way, at that time period, Batman's right. That you usually saw them with mohawks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and other Delawares and Hopis and
I'm
well,
sorry. And what? And what? Delaware is a place.
It's also a tribe.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't
See,
actually know that.
I wouldn't have
Yes,
gotten the joke.
Delaware is the state of Delaware is named after the Delaware Indian tribe.
All right. Okay. I take it they've been wiped out. No, I'm not doing this to take the piss. Before anyone thinks I am.
I do not think they have actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
There are people that claim to be part of the Delaware tribe still, but their population is very, very
Yeah.
small. All right.
Yeah, and most of them are late middle-aged white women who were in there or even older who were actually part of Congress.
Folk contests, yeah.
Like Pocahontas.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the final story.
Mm-hmm.
Let Batman see this before I
Mm-hmm. I agree, Doku. They should.
All right. Cops. Ohio sex toy thief was caught in the act. And Ohio.
Hold on a minute. No. That's a reconstruction of fucking Denisovan. I mean, look at that forehead. I mean, look at the nose and look at the severe lack of an actual chin. That is not a Homo sapiens. That is a Denisovan.
An Ohio man is facing a theft charge after allegedly stealing $336.93 worth of sex toys from an. Isn't that kind of an odd? Isn't that oddly specific?
Particular number. Yeah.
They really went out of their ways to total this one up. All right. Of sex toys from an adult novelty store, according to police who prepared an explicit inventory of the purloined goods. The cops responded Saturday morning to a panic alarm at the Sorella store in Elrea, all right, a city 30 miles west of Cleveland. Sorella is a 60 store chain with outlets across the Midwest. That's really okay. A store employee identified the shoplifting suspect as a white male carrying a large knife on his hip. Did he pull it out?
So he didn't have a big iron on his hip.
No, he didn't have a big iron on his hip, right? Upon arriving at the store, cops spotted Joshua Millsap, 28, exiting Cirella's and entering a passenger-side Ford sedan parked outside. When confronted by police, Millsap reportedly admitted to stealing the merchandise from the store. After cops recovered some of the sex toys from the vicinity of the car's passenger seat, a Cirella clerk advised that other items were still missing. Millsap, seen above, then reportedly copped to cutting a slit in his jacket and concealing the other sex toys inside of the carpet. An officer checked the jacket and located outside the jacket to touch this stuff. I'll be honest with you. At this point in time, what's even worse is he was cited for misdemeanor theft. Right?
Mr.
You know, if he'd have done this in California, he'd got away with it, don't you?
No, they wouldn't even. He could have just walked out out of the store. All right. Since he was the subject, however, of an outstanding warrant in another jurisdiction, they turned him over to the Ohio State Patrol. For those interested in the photos and descriptions of the stolen goods at Cirella's, please visit the site and put in the 6-digit codes. I don't think I'm gonna do this. Oh, it's like an advertisement. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not this was.
I can hear you typing up the address as we speak, Nomad.
Do you think that this might have been staged? The way they wrote the story.
Yeah.
Prelude to a Will Smith.
Ouch.
Here's some items Jada needs for her boy toys.
Oh.
Oh my god. The universal pump sleeve. Urethral sound trainer. I don't know what
Do you think, there's the thing though, do you think Will Smith's ever going to live this shite down?
No.
Not.
A shapeshifter anal.
I don't want to know.
A stay hard donut ring.
Is that for a guy, somebody with hemorrhoids?
I don't know.
It was so bad, but probably not.
You sit on it and your hemorrhoids just hang in the wall.
I wish it was that easy. As Doku said, what are you in for, man? I stole the biggest rubber dick I could find. I'm sure he's going to get on real well in prison. I really think he's going to be loved. Often.
You kind of wonder what the other charge was. The other warrant was.
Yeah.
Assault with an obscene weapon.
He's got a large knife on his hip. and he's got a club. Oh, no, it's just one of our dildos.
Yeah.
Plumped him to death with a big rubber dildo.
Is that a touring club or are you just pleased to see us?
It's a club.
Oh, okay.
You know someone's going to name someone a Jada Special or something like that. Sooner or later.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the next kind of waxing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, you don't go for a Brazilian anymore. You're going for a Jada.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that.
Cock rings are now called Will Smith's balls.
Ow. What are you talking about? They've not been anywhere near her for ages.
They've never been anywhere near him for ages either.
Also, a fair point. Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm in one of those modes right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's everything I've got now for Jenson, so if you want to stop the stream.
No.
Hey, here's one for you. Yeah, what sound does Will Smith's chicken make? Will Smith's cockerel. What sound does it make?
Go on.
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Well, ladies, gentlemen, whatever else you want to call yourself, thank you very much for coming out and listening to our
There's another
drivel.
one. There's another
Oh,
one.
God,
If
really?
if Dwayne Johnson was doing Will Smith's wife, would he be shouting, "Can you smell who The Rock is cooking?"
Oh, ugh. Your temper. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for coming out and doing this. And I'll speak to you all later. Bye bye,
Yeah.
everybody.